Hey guys, this is Rocket Road here with the Ice Cream Soldiers, and today we're going to discuss one of my very favorite cards in this update, Red Zone. So this card is found in the Chaos Affinity, and it gives you 32 power, 452 health. Well, actually this is level 3, so let's change that. Show card, it's level 1. So at level 1, it's 29 power, 410 health, 170 mana, and it has the passive, which is really the most important part of this card. Nearby heroes both deal and receive 50% bonus damage. Now, what this is really telling you is anyone near you, like within this, basically it'll show in the game, this red aura, this radius. Anyone in that radius will take and deal 100% damage, because they are dealing a 50% bonus, and they're also receiving a 50% bonus in damage. Since they are technically receiving 50% bonus damage, and anyone in that radius is also dealing 50% bonus damage, you add those together as 100%. So technically, you're getting 100% bonus damage dealt and received as long as you're within that radius. This card is very expensive. 8 agility, 8 vitality, 8 intellect. It's from using it myself, and I use it quite often. If you have seen my Danger Zone Crunch build and guide, you will know that this is pretty much the center of that deck once you get to the end game. And this pretty much, once you get this on, the game ends shortly afterwards. It's just complete decimation, and when you can kill people that late game, death timers are so long, you have a good team, you'll capitalize on that, and you'll pretty much win the game from that point. However, we're going to discuss who to use it on, who not to use it on, the risks, and the payoffs of this card. First off, a lot of people are afraid to run this card. And that's warranted, because it is a negative effect as well. If you get snuck up on, you're definitely going to get hit really hard. However, depending on the hero you use this on, and there's certain cards that you can combo with it to protect yourself, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but it just really depends on the hero you use it on. I've seen some people try and put it on like carries. That's not a good idea, because an enemy carry, if they're more accurate than you are, or let's say a GTFO hits you from a Grim that's caster built, I mean that could potentially one-shot you if you running Red Zone. So any type of caster ability, Gideon Meteor, anything that can just come crashing down on you and even outrange you is gonna wreck you. So you don't want this on your carry. Now that's different if, like, let's say a character's supporting your carry and your carry just kind of jumps into aura real quick to get some damage boost. That's different. But yeah, it's just not particularly good on those type of heroes. I wouldn't run it on anyone that's to be honest, anyone that's a basic attack heavy hero. Don't run it on them. Basic attacks don't do nearly as much as abilities, and this card is really good for burst casters. 2 heroes in particular that this card is just amazing on: Crunch and Countess. The reason it's good on Crunch, and the reason I like it on Crunch, is on my build, I can pretty much benefit from all 3 of the attributes. I can benefit from agility for just a tiny bit of attack speed, and the basic armor, but more so from the mana generator gem. Very helpful. And I can benefit from, obviously, from vitality. You want to build Crunch as a frontline initiator, so the vitality is a must. And then the intellect, it's mana regen, and then mana fountain gem. So I mean, you're not losing anything by building into 3 attributes on Crunch. And then also he puts out so much damage so quickly in a burst motion, as well as having the CC of an uppercut, that this card actually works fantastic on him. You're going to go in there and you're going to 2-shot people, so you're not giving your opponents much time to hit you. So you can get in real quick, 2-shot some people, maybe 3-shot a tank, and get out. I mean, it's just that good. Same with Countess. Countess, I'm not sure if she benefits as well from agility per se, but she can benefit from vitality and from intellect. However, she comes in. A friend of mine runs Red Zone Countess. He has like one-shot people with Dark Tide. Especially if we've played a couple games where we both ran Red Zone and we would be together and it'd be a 200% bonus, and it's just, oh, it's awesome. But yeah, she can just come in and do either like a Dark Tide. If they're a little bit tankier, it takes like a Dark Tide, and then maybe even just a Shadow Slip, then a Dark Tide, and it's going to kill them. So it's fantastic on those assassin-like characters and those characters that just do this massive amount of burst damage. That is where this card shines. Now, yes, the risk is high, but the reward is also high. You just have to be aware of spacing. Try not to be too close to your teammates all the time, because they will get the negative effects, especially if your teammates aren't bursty. Also be aware of getting into situations. This can really screw you over if you're going over after what you think is a lone target and then they all jump in on you from behind. Yeah, you're probably going to die. However, we're going to go over one card that is very good in synergy with this card to actually counter the negative effects. So, along with Red Zone, I also run in my Red Zone deck Thorned Yomi. This card is fantastic. It's got good stats, 10 power, 31 basic armor, and it has the active counter attack. Return 65% of damage taken for 4 seconds. It's got a 30-second cooldown, which is actually pretty small cooldown, and it costs 75 mana to activate. It's only 2 agility, and it's 6 vitality, so on crunch, you're pumping so much into vitality as it is. This is easy to get to. Sometimes I even put this on before I get to Red Zone. I ran into a match the other day with a Feng Mao that was running that shielding strikes card and like Malink's Tribute, and was just ridiculous shields on him, and he was eating me alive. So I just thought about it. I was like, wait, let me put on Thorned Yomi, and that should reflect that 65% of damage back while I'm hitting him, and it basically should get through shields. Lo and behold, he tried to come at me again because he didn't realize to put Thorned Yomi on. I activated, and I just ran right through him. So this is also a good counter card to very specific decks that are very popular right now, especially with the shielding strikes. Wukong comes up on you, pop this. It'll help you out, especially since all those clones are hitting you and everything too. You're just going to reflect all of that back at them. I've even reflected a Howitzer ult back. So Howitzer ulted over me, I reflected it back, and Howitzer ended up taking basically at least half his health bar while he was up in the sky, and probably wondering what was going on, but yeah. Anyway, most people don't know that the returning of 65% damage taken, some people think, oh, I still take 100% damage, I just return 65. Actually, this card blocks 65% of damage you would take and then reflects it back. So you're only going to take 35% damage, and you're going to be reflecting 65% of it back. And if you have Red Zone on, that 65% damage, let's say someone hits you for 100 and you take 35, you reflect 65 back, but Red Zone gets a 100% bonus, so then you're reflecting 130 back. So let's say that counts as coming in with an ult, and that's going to be one of your worst nightmares when your Red Zone is another burst hero, because it's going to work just as well for them. However, you run Thorned Yomi on there, they're going to come and try and burst you down, activate Thorned Yomi, they kill themselves. I have done this to a Countess, I've done this to a couple of heroes before where they've tried to burst me down, and I had Red Zone on, and I'm like, you know what, pop Thorned Yomi, you just killed yourself. Bam. It's a fantastic combo. It's a good way to protect yourself and just help you not die so much from that Red Zone. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this card and its support card, Thorned Yomi. It is risky, but just remember, burst heroes, don't use it on your basic attack heroes. They will get eaten alive. But your burst heroes, your crunch, your Countess, I've even seen it on a Kalari with, you know, the whole Death Crawler combo coming out of Invis, and then you just, I mean, you thought 1600 damage was a lot. Imagine that times 2 with Red Zone. Yeah, whoo, pretty bad. But also remember, high cost, agility, vitality, intellect. Heroes that can benefit from all of those are going to be the best suited for this card. I believe Crunch is the absolute best hero suited for this card. Anyways, if you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. At the end of this video, there's a little logo in the middle. Click on that, subscribe to get the most updates from our channel. We have been kind of down on the streaming lately. I just had a baby, my wife and I, so we've been kind of out for a week, but we should be back onto a streaming schedule soon. But we're going to try and put up more of these guides and stuff too, for you guys. Anyway, until next time, we'll catch you later.